Hi, praise be to God. Jesus says in the book of Matthew chapter 7 verse 3 to 5 that, "And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not consider the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me remove the speck from your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye?" It's easy to see other people's faults and not see your own faults, so you end up judging them. Let's take Judah for example in the book of Genesis chapter 38. Judah had a daughter-in-law called Tamar. Tamar got married to Judah's first son, but God killed him because he was wicked. Then Judah gave Tamar his second son, but he was also killed by God because his actions were evil. Then Judah said to Tamar that live in your father's house as a widow until my third son, Shelah, grows up. But when his son grew up, he did not keep his promise. He did not give Shelah to Tamar. After his wife had died and he had recovered from grief, he went up to Timnah, and there he saw a prostitute and decided to sleep with her. He promised to give her a goat if she slept with him. Since he did not have a goat there with him, he gave her his seal and its cord and his staff to hold on to until she receives the young goat. By the way Judah slept with his daughter-in-law Tamar, he mistook her for a prostitute. After some time, Judah sent a young goat to the prostitute, but she was not there. So Judah told his friend to stop looking for her, otherwise he would become a laughingstock. 3 months later, people found out that Tamar, Judah's daughter-in-law, was pregnant and told Judah. Judah then chose the worst punishment for Tamar. She was to be brought out and burnt to death. Notice that Judah too had done the same thing 3 months ago. His sin was similar to Tamar. He had slept with someone he thought was a prostitute. The only difference that his sin was hidden, whereas Tamar's sin was exposed because she was pregnant. When he came to himself, he did not want his sin to be exposed because 3 months ago he told his friend to stop looking for the prostitute because he did not want to become a laughingstock. But when it came to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, he wanted to bring her out in public and punish her. So who's more righteous, Judah or Tamar? Tamar's sin was deceiving Judah about her true identity and sleeping with her father-in-law. Judah's sin was not keeping to his promise by giving his third son to Tamar when the time came. He knew very well that he was not going to give his son to her. He also slept with someone he thought was a prostitute. In a way, Tamar's life was in Judah's hands. Judah could do whatever he wanted to Tamar. When he said that bring her out and burn her to death, no one questioned him. And when he said that she is more righteous than I, people let her go. God is the greater judge. He does not go by human standards. He judges everyone fairly. When Judah's 2 sons were wicked in his eyes, he killed them. When the teachers of law and the Pharisees questioned Jesus about the woman caught in adultery, he questioned them, "You who is without sin, let him be the first to cast the stone." And they all left, from the eldest to the youngest. And the woman was left there with Jesus, the only one without sin. God sees all things. He knows all things. So God is the perfect judge.